Level and true. If you live to be a great and wonder, meet the nose out of the blue. Flying men, guarding the nation's border, we'll be there, followed by more. Village will on, we carry on, boys, nothing will stop the Army Air Force.
One more story that I heard only this morning. This is a story of one of our Army flying fortresses operating in the Western Pacific. The pilot of this plane is a modest young man.
Proud of his crew, Captain Hewitt T. Wheelus was singled out by President Roosevelt in his speech tonight for his epic flight in the Pacific, when Wheelus and his crew
in a flying fortress distinguished themselves beyond the line of duty. The president further acclaimed young Wheelus when he awarded him the Distinguished Service Cross.
Wheelus? Well, how do you like that, honey? He was in my class at the University of Texas.
Say, Jim, weren't you Shorty Wheelus's instructor in basic?
Yeah, he was one of my boys.
Boy, I bet you proud of him.
Hewitt Wheelus. Well, I declare, I had a date with him once. You did,
Really?
Sure enough.
Well, doggone. He's talking about Shorty Wheelus, a pal of mine. He used to work right here on this ranch, remember?
Yes, they remember all right. Right there on that ranch, deep in the heart of Texas. Way back in 1938. Just an average young American guy working at the ranch between college semesters. There's a heap of things to be done in one day around a ranch, from early morning to way past sundown. And there isn't much excitement in the evenings. Pretty simple life.
Hey, Rocky, put that guitar away and look here what I got from a mail order house. One of them Fandango radios, portable.
Well, turn it on. Let's hear what it says.
Well, that's what I'm doing.
Attention, young men of America. The Army Air Force announced today that there is now an opening for 500 new cadets at Randolph Field. How about you? The world of tomorrow is the world of planes in the sky. Uncle Sam's Air Force is expanding, and if you're healthy, between 18 and 26, you can become a first lieutenant wearing the silver wings that proclaim you a vital part of our great air forces.
You know something? That's not a bad idea. I always sort of had it in the back of my head.
You mean flying?
I don't mean punching cows. Think I'll give it a try.
Get up from there, you little runt. You're just pint-sized. You gotta be big. A regular longhorn to get in that Randolph Field. I'll make you a bet that you can't get in there. I'll bet you a new pair of saddle grain leather boots that you can't.
That's a bet.
All right.
Well, on July 1st, 1938, Cal lost that bet. Hewitt Wheelus entered Randolph Field to begin his primary training, feeling just as strange, as unsure of himself as any of those other boys.
Think you can learn to do that, cowboy? I hope so. It might help if I could put a saddle on it.
Well, good luck, Shorty.
Thank you, sir.
Believe it or not, there's Wheelus and his fellow cadets. A few days make a lot of difference. And that uniform works miracles for a new cadet's confidence. Oh, but just in case we forgot to mention it, it takes plenty of work to be worthy of those uniforms. And in primary training, a staff of the finest instructors. Men with high aviation and scholastic ability. Army and special civilian instructors take over the arduous task of equipping our flyers with a keen knowledge of their art. And in the 6 weeks to follow, a new world is open to the cadet. A world illumined by the skill, patience, and tireless effort of the instructors.
This course, called The Theory of Flight, will give you a concise picture from a scientific standpoint of why an airplane flies.
Mr. Wheelus, what kind of clouds would you prefer if you're carrying out a bombing mission over enemy territory?
Stratiform, sir.
Why, Mr. Wheelus?
Because they offer the best concealment against enemy pursuit. Flying in such clouds would be comparatively smooth,
And any icing you encounter would be of the least dangerous type.
That's correct, Mr. Wheelers.
Now, on this type of engine, you must keep the cylinder head temperature below 260 degrees, or you'll encounter detonation and loss of power. It may also cause puffs of black smoke from the exhaust. Overheating is usually caused by incorrect fuel mixture or high manifold pressure. Now, to correct this, first reduce manifold pressure with the throttle.
All right, men, read that back.
SOS, latitude 5, longitude 15.
Now that you've learned to read the sectional aeronautical charts, the next step will be to plan a few cross-country flights.
Well, looks like they're on their way now. Probably a little nervous, but more than a little thrilled. Yes, they're going to fly. Going upstairs with their first flying instructor.
All right, Mr. Wheelers, take it easy and stay relaxed. You should always remember that. Keep your head and eyes moving. Look around. All right, hand on the stick. You've got it. Let's go.
Then came that day, a momentous day, one he'll never forget.
Shall I cut the motor, sir? No, don't you feel like you're capable of taking it around by yourself? Well, I want you to go around traffic, come in with a three-point landing. If there's any question about your approach, your traffic, don't be proud. Give it the gun and go on around. You'll be on your own, keep your head and eyes moving. All right, good luck, Mr. Wheelers. Thank you, sir. Be on your own, keep your head and eyes moving. Be on your own, keep your head and eyes moving.
The cadets in those planes have now had 60 hours in the air alone. And those patient, hard-working instructors are now beginning to see results. Yes, those birdmen aloft are ready to leave the scene for another school to begin their basic training.
Congratulations, kid. I'm glad you made it. Did you have a tough time? Well, you know, all that stuff you teach us in ground school really works in the air. Well, you remember that, and you'll be flying one of these pretty soon.
Now in basic training, the flyers begin to take things over. They begin to master the more elaborate maneuvers.
All right, ease back on the stick, lose airspeed, producing a spin. Now you're spinning to the left. To recover from the spin, give it forward stick, opposite rudder, and opposite aileron. Center the needle, center the ball, check the airspeed. Airspeed 160, needle and ball in the center. Okay, raise the hood, please. All right, Wheelers, let's try it again. Center the needle, center the ball, and check the airspeed. Okay, Sergeant.
Just before the student is ready for high-altitude flying, he must undergo the oxygen pressure tank test. First, a last-minute physical checkup, and then he will enter this pressure tank, which simulates exact air conditions all the way up to 30,000 feet.
Mr. Willis, the main thing here is to see that this band is not too tight. You don't want the mask uncomfortable on your face. However, you want it tight enough, too, so that your oxygen doesn't leak through on your nose here. Does it appear comfortable to you?
They're all set now, and when this door is sealed and the pressure starts mounting, their reactions to high altitudes will be carefully studied.
10,000 feet. 20,000 feet.
The last lap. The home stretch. That's what advanced training means. Those shining wings are just about within reach now. But not until the Birdmen successfully pass their advanced classes in navigation, radio, and...
Mr. Wheelers, what type ship is this?
Japanese battleship, sir.
Mr. Potter, what class is it?
Yomo Sheriff class, sir.
Can anyone tell us why?
Well, the identifying characteristic is the pagoda-like format.
That's right.
Is that one of your students, Major?
Yes, that's Wheelers, making another one of his kangaroo landings.
Looks like he's breaking a horse.
Yeah. Not so good, Wheelers. You had your nose much too low. Gave you a bad bounce, eh?
Yes, sir. I don't know what's the matter. I just can't seem to get these short field landings.
Well, now, you're not going to be able to pick your fields in combat. And remember what I told you. If you do have a forced landing, the first third of the field, nose high, and full flaps. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Okay, then. Now, get up there and give me a good show.
Well, he didn't forget. And it looks from here as though Major General H.K. Harmon is about to present him with wings.
And it is my privilege to be the first to welcome you into the greatest fraternity in the world, the Brotherhood of Airmen. You proceed now to greater responsibilities, greater achievements. Many of you will be assigned at once to combat units. Others among you will be retained here as flying instructors. Your mission is no less vital than that of the combat pilot. Our training program is the backbone of our whole air effort. The individual flying instructor is the essence of training. You must be brother, godfather, pal, and pedagogue. We know that you will not fail, that here on the home front, paralleling the great work of your comrades in combat, you will maintain the Army Air Forces as America's first line of offense.
Hewitt Harold Wheelers.
Yes, he got them all right. Bright and shining new, the proud symbol of the United States Army Air Force.
Congratulations, Mr. Wheelers.
Thank you, sir.
March Field, January 1941. And Dodo Wheelers, now Lieutenant Wheelers, takes his newly assembled combat crew up for a practice flight in the Boeing B-17D. 8 men, now a perfectly functioning team. An all-American team from every quarter of America. Pilot, Lieutenant Wheelers. Co-pilot, Lieutenant Taborik. Navigator, Lieutenant Minaw. Bombardier, Sergeant Shalati. Engineer gunner, Sergeant Guti. Armament gunner, Sergeant Brown. Gunner, Corporal Williams. And radio operator, Private Killen. You better remember this crew. You'll be hearing from them.
Well, looks like we're on our way.
Excuse us, Tokyo, while we go into a little practice action. Gunnery practice on the tow target. Just get a bead on these boys. It's shooting like this that'll knock them on their axis. A little bombardiering a la carte.
Fall at the bombardier. Okay, we'll take the target on the left. The one with the pyramid in it.
Yes, sir, I see it.
Cloverleaf pattern, drop 1 bomb on each run.
Finally, one day, it was late in the year.
Lieutenant Wheelers.
Yes, sir.
Keep your crew on the alert. We leave for foreign service at any time.
Boys will be glad to hear that, sir. Where's DeBoer?
He's up in front, sir.
Well, boys, I got some good news for you. We're on 6 hours' notice to take off for foreign service. Sergeant, you said everybody gets their stuff loaded and stand by.
Yes, sir.
That's the dope.
Best news I've heard along. Let's go.
Yes, this is the moment they were hoping for. This is the moment they'd been training for. Foreign service. And before the day was out, they were off to Honolulu. And before the week was out, the Philippines. That was on, maybe you remember the date, December 7th. And just 2 weeks later, one memorable morning when, well, President Roosevelt can describe that heroic mission better than I can.
The bomber departed from its base as part of a flight of 5 bombers to attack Japanese transports that were landing troops against us in the Philippines. When they had gone about halfway to their destination, one of the motors of this bomber went out of commission. The young pilot lost contact with the other bombers. The crew, however, got the motor working, and the plane proceeded on its mission alone. By the time it arrived at its target, the other 4 flying fortresses had dropped their bombs and had stirred up the hornet's nest of Japanese Zero planes. 18 of these Zero fighters attacked our 1 flying fortress. Despite this mass attack, our plane proceeded on its mission.
I want you to take it easy, stay relaxed. Always remember that. Now keep your head and eyes moving. Look around.
I see them. 6 of them. Lined up 10 degrees to the right. Okay, line up on them. We're going in for the run. Altitude 11,500. Airspeed 165. Bomb bay doors open. PDI on.
Turned back on its homeward journey, a running fight between the bomber and the 18 Japanese pursuit planes continued for 75 miles. 4 pursuit planes of the Japs attacked simultaneously at each side. 4 were shot down with the side guns. During this fight, the bomber's radio operator was killed, the engineer's right hand was shot off, and 1 gunner was crippled, leaving only 1 man available to operate both side guns. Although wounded in 1 hand, this gunner alternately manned both side guns, bringing down 3 more Japanese Zero planes.
Pursuit plane on tail. Rudder right, rudder right.
Remember what your instructor taught you, Gunner. For head-on shooting, center your bead within small inner ring. Target exactly on bead.
While this was going on, 1 engine on the American bomber was shot out. Out of 11 control cables, all but 4 were shot away. The rear landing wheel was blown off entirely, and the 2 front wheels were both shot flat.
Call it the gun crew. Stand by to change ammunition. We're going into a cloud. Center the needle. Center the ball. Check the airspeed. Center the needle. Center the ball. Check the airspeed.
The fight continued until the remaining Japanese pursuit ships exhausted their ammunition and turned back. With 2 engines gone and the plane practically out of control, the American bomber returned to its base after dark.
All it to crew. Prepare for crash landing.
If you do have a forced landing, the first third of the field, nose high, and full flaps.
The mission had been accomplished. The name of that pilot is Captain Hewitt T. Whaless. He has been awarded the Distinguished Service Cross, and I hope that he's listening.
Yes, Mr. President, Captain Whaless was listening, and so was his wife. In fact, the impact of the surprise was so strong that they hardly heard the clamor of the townspeople at the door.
Hi.
Welcome home, Captain.
Thank you. Say, it was mighty nice of you folks to drop by.
Captain, would you please sign your name in my defense stamp book?
Sure, General. Say, you have quite a few stamps here.
My daddy gives...
These stamps and bonds you folks buy, don't think they don't add up, because they do. These stamps and bonds are paying for the planes we fly over there.
Hey, when do you think you'll be going back, Captain Willis?
Oh, very soon, probably, but first I have a couple of messages to deliver for the boys over here.
Would you sign this for me, please, Captain?
And the first message was to the men and women who work at the giant Boeing plant in Seattle.
I just want to say that if it weren't for the airplane you gave us, those Jap troops and Jap Zeros would still be around, but I'm afraid I wouldn't be. Any plane that can dish out the damage and take the hammering our fortress took, my crew and the men in our crew are grateful to you and to all the workers of America for turning out the finest aircraft in the world. With these planes, we can outfight them. All we ask is that you continue to outbuild them. Get behind our great president and keep them rolling. We'll keep them flying, and when we start heading over Berlin and Tokyo, it's really going to be a picnic.
Tell me something, Shorty. What were you thinking about during that scrap with the Zeros?
Well, for one thing, I was thinking about my instructors. I mean, what they taught me.
Yeah?
I guess a lot of the fellas do. You remember Jim Conley, Cecil Combs, and Tag? You ought to see those fellas now. They're really kicking the Japs around.
That sure sounds like music to me. Makes me feel a lot better.
Well, I'll get them to you upstairs. So long, Bill.
So long, Captain. See you later.
So long. Good luck.
So long, Captain. Say, where are you bound for?
Shangri-La.
Hey, knock over a couple of Japs for me, would you?
Center the needle, center the ball.
Keep your head and eyes moving. Look around.
Nose high.
Over American flyers like a vast guardian angel, always up there in the sky, guiding those line of duty.